I used to think love meant showing up every single day, even when no one noticed. For 10 years, I woke up before sunrise, drove 2 hours to the plant, and came home smelling like grease and exhaustion. My wife, Diane, never asked how my day went. She just handed me the mail, the bills, the quiet. I told myself that was normal marriage, two people surviving side by side. I didn't know then that survival wasn't the same as partnership. I didn't know she was already building a story in her head, one where I was the villain, and she was the woman who carried our family alone. The argument started small. She'd say I never helped, never cared, never gave enough. I'd come home to silence sharper than shouting. I tried talking, tried explaining the overtime shifts, the money I wired every month for our daughter's braces, our son's baseball gear. But somewhere along the way, Diane stopped listening. She started rewriting our history in front of her sister, her friends, even our own kids. "Your father never lifted a finger for this family," she'd say, like I wasn't standing right there. I felt myself disappearing inside my own home, erased one sentence at a time. Then came the divorce papers. I remember holding them in the driveway, engine still running, hands shaking, not from anger, but disbelief. She wanted full custody, spousal support, and a public declaration that I had abandoned my financial duties as a husband and father. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes before I could breathe normally. Somewhere inside me, a switch flipped. If she wanted to tell a story about who I was, I decided I would let her, right up until the moment the truth could speak louder than her words ever could. The court date arrived on a gray Tuesday morning. Diane sat across from me in a navy blazer, calm, composed, rehearsed. Her lawyer painted me as a ghost husband, a man who let his wife struggle while he vanished into work. She testified under oath, looking the judge dead in the eye, and said the words that still echo in my chest. In 10 years of marriage, he never provided a single dollar for our family. The room went quiet. My own lawyer glanced at me, waiting. I just nodded, calm, because I had been waiting for this exact moment for 3 years. Here's the twist nobody in that courtroom saw coming, not even Diane. 3 years earlier, after a night I stumbled across a hidden account statement in her purse, I discovered she'd been transferring portions of the money I gave her, money meant for groceries, tuition, mortgage payments, into a separate account under her maiden name. I didn't confront her. Instead, I started keeping records. Every deposit, every wire transfer, every paycheck stub, copied and filed. I told no one, not even my own attorney, until the week before trial. I needed her to say the lie out loud first. I needed the world to hear it before I proved it wrong. So I sat there, letting her finish her testimony, letting her lawyer smile, with false confidence. When it was my turn, I didn't raise my voice. I simply reached into my briefcase and placed 7 years of bank statements on the table in front of the judge, organized by month, highlighted, indexed like a courtroom exhibit, because that's exactly what it was. Diane's face changed color. Her lawyer leaned over, flipping pages, mouth tightening. The judge lifted the first folder, eyebrows raising as the numbers spoke louder than any argument either side had made all morning. Every deposit matched a bill. Every transfer matched a date. Tuition payments, medical bills, the roof I replaced after the storm, the used car I bought so she could drive our kids to school without breaking down on the highway. 7 years of proof, untouched by emotion, immune to memory or manipulation. The judge asked Diane directly whether she recognized the account numbers on page 12, the hidden account under her maiden name. Her hands trembled. For the first time in years, she had no rehearsed answer. Just silence, thick and suffocating, filling a courtroom that had believed her without question. The judge's expression shifted from neutral to something closer to disappointment, not at me, but at how close the system had come to punishing the wrong person. Diane's lawyer requested a recess. My own attorney squeezed my shoulder, whispering that I'd just changed the outcome of this entire case in less than 4 minutes. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt tired, the way you feel after carrying something heavy for far too long and finally setting it down. My daughter, sitting in the back row, looked at me like she was seeing her father clearly for the first time in years. In the weeks that followed, the custody terms changed. The spousal support claims were dropped entirely. Diane's credibility, once untouchable, crumbled under the weight of documentation she never imagined I'd kept. People in town started looking at me differently, not with pity, but respect. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The truth had already done what I could never do with words alone. My son started calling me every Sunday just to talk. My daughter asked if she could stay with me on weekdays instead of weekends. I think about that courtroom moment often, not with anger, but with quiet closure. I didn't destroy Diane out of revenge. I simply refused to let a lie define the next chapter of my children's lives. Some nights I still pull out that old accordion folder, the one that saved everything, and I remember the version of myself who sat quietly for years, absorbing blame that was never his to carry. I'm not that man anymore. I'm the father who showed up, who provided, who kept receipts when love stopped being enough, and who finally let the truth stand where lies once lived.